Uh, NHL Trade Deadline is Friday. We have had 9 trades in the last day and a half. I think we're at 17 trades total in the last 2 weeks. Everybody is swapping out contracts and in some cases getting players on rentals to try to push themselves to the Stanley Cup. Anaheim Ducks have made a couple of deals. One of them was with the Edmonton Oilers. The Ducks traded 2 really good guys. Adam Henrique, the veteran center, scored 18 goals this year, and Sam Carrick, a San Diego goal player who got to Anaheim and they never got him out of the room because he played so hard and played so well and filled a certain role. Henrique and Carrick go to the Edmonton Oilers for a number 1 draft pick and a number 5. Then today, Ducks made another trade. They traded Jacob Perreault, who had been here with the San Diego Gulls, had kind of hit a wall, had not grown as a goal scorer. He got traded to the Montreal Canadiens for a young goal scorer in the American Hockey League. It's got 13 goals this season. Here's an interesting statistic. As tough as this Ducks season is to watch now, the Ducks now own 10 draft picks in June. They own a 1 and a 1. They own 2 2s, and they own 3 3-3s. So they've got a lot of currency in the first 3 rounds of this draft. It sounds great in theory, but the reality is draft picks and cap space can't go on the ice and win games for you the rest of the season. They're going to be miserable the rest of the season. So the Ducks have made a couple of trades. Las Vegas, last night, huge trade. Calgary is in fire sale mode. Calgary's traded a lot of guys away. They traded Noah Hannafin, really high-scoring defenseman. He goes to Vegas. He's a short-term rental, though Vegas is going to sign him to an extension. He goes for a 1 and a 5. Calgary also prior had traded Elias Lindholm, goal scorer. He went to Vancouver. This guy's got firepower, and Vancouver has just loaded this thing to try to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida made a trade. They get former 40-goal scorer Vladimir Tarasenko. He comes from the Ottawa Senators. He's just not the same player. He'd been with the St. Louis Blues, been with the Rangers. Then he wound up making the move. Tarasenko goes from Ottawa on a 1-year contract to Florida. Really good trade. The Dallas Stars get Chris Tanev, another Calgary trade as the Flames are dismantling their whole team. Tanev is big, and he's gritty, and he's going to help the Dallas defense. Colorado. Now, this is hard to explain. How does Colorado get the leading scorer from the Buffalo Sabres? But they just did. Casey Middlestat gave up a bunch of draft picks and prospects to get him out of Buffalo. Sabres have got a lot of young players. They felt they couldn't re-sign everybody, so they traded Middlestat. What a great acquisition for Colorado. And, of course, prior, the Flyers, they pulled off the first trade leading up to the deadline, getting Jamie Drysdale from the Anaheim Ducks. So, John, for all of our Canada followers, unbelievable day, and we're not done yet. You know, last year there were 37 trades at the deadline, an all-time record. So as of noon today, I think the number was 17, and we still got some big names out there probably are going to get moved. But this is what we call moving day in the NHL.
Well, when you rolled in here, you were looking at your phone trying to get the latest updates so you could share it with the audience here. You know, you talked a lot about crazy, famous NFL trades. What about the NHL? Are there some really amazing trades?
Well, there have been some blockbusters. I mean, banging my head on the wall the day that Gretzky got traded from Edmonton to the LA Kings.
What did the Kings give up for that?
Oh, they gave up Jimmy Carson. They gave up a whole number of young prospects, goal scorers, and draft picks. And the Kings got Gretzky. They got Gretzky's right-hand man, Marty McSorley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Yari Curry. I mean, there were a lot of mega names in that deal. Way back in the day, I was a kid growing up, and I said, I couldn't believe this. The trade of Phil Esposito, legendary center.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Orr was traded. Can you believe Boston traded Bobby Orr? So there have been significant deals, but it's really different now in the NHL. There's the young breed of Ivy League general managers, and these guys have come in, and I think their ideology is, unless you got the number 1 or number 2, number 3 pick at the top of the draft board in June, the rest of these guys are so far down the road in terms of development, and I need to win now, or I want to win now, or maybe I get one more player who makes us a Stanley Cup team now. These GMs come in and take my number 1, take my number 2. It doesn't matter. because I had a great team. I need one more guy that finishes this product off,
Mhm.
So it's going to be fascinating to see if this is the new mode of business. I tend to think it really is. Edmonton's got a great hockey team, and the Oilers now add a really gifted second or third line guy in Adam Henrique and a worker bee in Sam Carrick from the Ducks. And they give up a future number one, but the number one's going to be at the bottom of the round. And I don't know how in the NFL they do this. You're drafting 18-year-olds or you're drafting Euros.
Yeah.
How do you project what they're going to develop into 4 years from now?
Yeah.
And it used to be you couldn't draft guys till they were 21. Then the World Hockey Association came in and they started signing all the 18 and 19-year-olds. The NHL says, whoa, we have to now make those guys available. But that's so far down the road. I'm not going to say it's a crapshoot because you find great hockey players lots of places, unless you're drafting number one or number two or number three. But how do you project 8 rounds of 18-year-olds and what they're going to turn into? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like MLB draft. It's like a real crapshoot,
Yeah.
But what do you think the Ducks are going to do? They're stockpiled with all those picks. Do you think they're going to trade maybe another Herschel Walker trade for the Ducks, or are they just going to build it with young guys?
Yeah, they're just going to build it with young guys. But that sounds great in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to the sports arena. San Diego Gulls in last place. They've had 3 bad seasons in a row because the Ducks have dealt a lot of players away. Ducks have pulled up a bunch of young players, and some of the players the Ducks drafted just have not panned out. So it hurts our Gulls franchise. And like I say, what are you putting on the ice for the next 2 years? All these draft picks are phenomenal, and all this cap space is phenomenal, but they can't win you games. You can't win with a pile of 18 and 20-year-olds playing in the NHL as raw rookies. To me, the learning curve is way too steep. So I understand the premise, assets, resources. But geez, there's no guarantee these guys are going to turn out. And what are you going to do between now and then if they ever get good? It's a long road back.
So when's the deadline?
Deadline is tomorrow, Friday, 12 noon.
Pacific time?
Yes.
Okay, so do we expect a lot more deals to go down?
Well, there's still some big names out there. Yeah, Pittsburgh's got a goal scorer. They're going to move because they can't re-sign him because of their salary cap. Jake Gensel. That's one. There's a couple of veteran goaltenders. Jacob Markstrom of Calgary. I'd hate to be a Calgary Flames fan. Holy cow! They're trading all their players again. They did this a couple of years ago with Johnny Gaudreau. They traded him. They traded some other the young players. Just in some of these places, you're gutting a franchise, and you're asking the fans buy season tickets and fill my arena. And you're giving me 18 and 19-year-olds that are 2 or 3 years down the road, and you're force feeding them.
Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, hey, our O Canada network probably going to have some opinions on the trade deadline. So we go from that